Hey, welcome back to the channel. Just gonna do a couple of tips and maybe we'll get into some what solds. Actually, I'm just recording this one tip right now and then we'll see what happens to the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so somebody got this Patagonia the other day, cheap at a thrift store, sold it to me cheap, and I am gonna resell it. I didn't realize at the time it was missing a button, which kind of sucks. I don't think it kills it, but that does devalue it a bit. But I still got it cheap enough. I think they got it for $5 and they sold it to me for 10. So we're gonna be just fine. But I wanted to show you something. How old is this Patagonia jacket? Any guess? I don't know, I haven't looked, but right here, there is a tag. And that tag says, does that say F97? Because that would make it fall line 1997, which would be awesome. I think that's what it says. Huh, that's cool. All right, so Patagonia started dating their stuff in, I believe, 87. And they put out a fall and a spring line. So if you find something that says S on it, it's a spring line thing. And if you find something that says F on it, on the left side of the garment, in the seam, there'll be that tag, and it'll have the model number. And then on the bottom, the very bottom of the tag, it says either S or F. S being spring, F being fall. They started in 87. So in 87, it would have just said F7, and then 8 would have been 88, but then when they got back around to 97, they're like, crap, now we need to go to 2 digits. If it's a 4, then it's 94. If it's a 5, then it's 95. I don't know if 6 was 96 or if 6 would have been 86 and they started with 96. So right there, if you come up with a 5 or a 6, then look it up. I'm not going to make you any promises, but 97 we know was 97 now because we just found one. And then they go up to 21, assumably. I guess spring 21 wouldn't have come out yet. Anyhow, that's a tip on Patagonia, and you might find a cool Patagonia piece that is from 1997. Something else useful to know. This is a vintage Dickies made in the USA men's button-up t-shirt. It is a button-up t-shirt. This is not a button-down t-shirt. Difference being the collar does not button down to the shirt. This shirt, I'll just put up an example, is a button down because the collar buttons down to the shirt. This is a button shirt that the collar stays up. The other is a collared shirt or where the collar buttons down. That is the difference between a button up and a button down. It'll help you in your search results, keywords, and such. You guys know how I feel about hats. I like to have them. I like to sell them. I like to buy them. I did okay today. This is a lot that I bought from we'll just call it a personal, private pick, and paid $2 a piece for these hats. Hawks, Bears, Cubs, Sox, Diamondbacks. That one's sweet. Cubs. This one's Dale Earnhardt. It's a little hard to see because it's all still sealed in the bag. That's a double of that Cubs. There's another. This is dead stock. It just has that fuzz on it. Hawks. This is Dale Jr. I'm not familiar with this logo at all. This one's Dale Earnhardt. This one's, I want to say it's a race thing. NASCAR. National Guard Dale Jr. Dale Jr. That one just looks like it's regular straight up NASCAR. And that one's dead stock, obviously, also. Hawks, Bears, Hawks, Cardinals, which feels out of place in this lot. Sox, Bears, Sox, and not for sale. Like March 1st, I had a almost $300 sale day, and I'm like, sweet. And then the next 2 days, I sold $11.63 and $22.53. Those were not great. And then I had on the 5th was a $40 day. And other than that, every other day of March has been between $100 and $250 in sales. So it's been pretty good. There were 3 days that were just really abysmal, but other than that, other than those 3 days, it's been good. Sales have really been hopping. I've been doing a lot of listing. I got all of those hats listed that are in this video. I'm just gonna breeze through a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna go through my solds backwards and let you know the things that I think are interesting. There's probably a bunch of stuff that's not interesting. And I'm gonna drink my coffee. This is the Starbucks cup that I bought my wife for Christmas because somebody broke this one and she really liked it. So I replaced it, but I'm using it more than she is. These are interesting. These are metal toppers to trophies. So I found these trophies for like $2 a piece at an estate sale, and the tops were metal. I just kind of tinged them, and they're metal toppers, and they do well. So metal trophies do really well. The toppers do. Now, I mean, these things are 2.5 feet long and they weigh 4 pounds, but the tops just unscrew. So if you unscrew the tops off of a couple of them, these sold for buyer was all in at $30, $27 plus tax. I was able to ship them first class. The 3 together were like 15.5 ounces or something. So I was able to get them first class. So I made some pretty good money on that. So this is interesting because I suck at my job. This is a Harley Davidson 3X hoodie. I want to say I paid $248 for this at East Peoria Goodwill. It sold for $34.99. Probably would have sold a lot faster had I spell checked myself. Obviously, I know how to spell Harley, but I fat fingered the U, and so this isn't going to come up in search results. Keywords are key. Here's comic books. The 5 of them sold for $10. This Raggedy Ann was like, I think a 16-inch. She sold for $10 free shipping. I paid $1. I make a little bit of money. About a year ago, I picked up a Victrola off Facebook that was free. Somebody's like, this is in my driveway. The first person that comes and gets it can have it. It still had the reproducer, and I'll show you what a reproducer is. That thing is worth money. And so when they showed it with the top open and that was still on there, I was like, I'll go get it and figure out what to do with the rest of it. Well, the cabinet was garbage, in really bad shape, so I threw the cabinet away, but I took all the hinges, and the 2 of the doors were still good, and everything metal I took off of it, and I was able to sell a whole bunch of parts individually, especially that reproducer, and then these were kind of the leftover parts that either I wasn't able to sell. I kind of gave up. I listed 5 or 6 things and then kind of gave up, and then we moved, and then there was a pandemic, and then I found this box the other day and I was like, I'm just going to list all of this stuff as a lot to get it gone, and it sold for $30. I sold 1 keychain so far. I'm beginning to wonder if that maybe wasn't the best investment ever, but the pens took forever to pan out too. It'll happen. These 4 belt buckles I sold for $2 a piece because they've been sitting around forever, and so they're $8 plus shipping. This candlestick I paid $2 for, sold for $17, and I was able to get it. No, I wasn't. It was. I think I have the picture. The scale was at 1 pound, 0.01 ounces, and so I put it in a priority flat rate. I probably could have gotten away with doing it 1 pound, but I didn't like how much I had to cut the box down. I felt like it wasn't particularly safe, so I put that box in another box and put those boxes into a priority flat rate. And rather than being the $6.03 or whatever the 1 pound first class is now. I paid $8 and it shipped a lot more securely in a flat rate envelope. This big funny looking Santa Claus from 1982. I picked this up at an estate sale. I want to say it was the exact same estate sale where I got, yeah, it was, where I got the trophy toppers. And so I paid $2 for him, and it took, I had it listed through Christmas, did not sell for Christmas, but it did sell for St. Patrick's Day. Buyers all in at $22.75. I got $22.99 plus shipping. The Jack Lalanne juicer, you're going to see a lot of Jack Lalanne juicer parts. If you find these juicers, the crazy thing about them is they sell for like $80, but if you take them apart, the parts sell for like $125 if you were able to sell them all. Some of them are super long tail, but you'll make money. You'll make an equal amount of money, as far as I can tell, and as far as people say, off the parts. You'll make the $75 or $80 off of parts quicker than you will selling it as a complete unit. Here's a Clifford sleeping bag. I've been selling some sleeping bags. I've had them for a long time, but now people are starting to think about camping, and so this one sold for $20. What I do with these when I ship them, because somebody was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're buying sleeping bags. How are you going to ship them? Well, you roll them up like you normally do. You fold it in like, it folds in half and when you zip it, and then you fold it in half again and you roll it, and you end up with like a 16-inch by 12-inch roll. And then you can resize a number 7 box from the priority mail service, and you don't even have to like cut it down. You just cut slits in all the spots and make it into a 16 by 10 or so, whatever it becomes. I guess if it's 12 by 12, it would become 16 by 8 box. You get it or you don't, and we're moving on. They're easy to ship. These two, I picked these two Sega Games up for nothing. They were 50 cents a piece, and I had 10 video games and a $10 bill, and I'm like, can I just give you $10 for all of it? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I had 10 video games that were $1 a piece, and those were the only 2 video games left at the entire sale. And so I took them up, and I said, how much are your video games? She's like, $1 a piece, except for those 2 on top are 50 cents a piece. And we counted them, and there were 10 of the video games, and then there were these 2 that were left on top, and I was like, I have a $10 bill. And she's like, that's fine, just take that. So anyway, here's an old Cubs jersey, $13.99. Dianetics, which I picked up for 50 cents, sold for $6. There's really not, I didn't make a ton of money. It sells media mail. I made like $2, but I'm starting to just pick up a lot of books. I'm kind of feeling that book market out. Macgyver is a series that evidently they're rebooting Macgyver, and so that one sold pretty quickly. I picked these seasons up for, I want to say $2 a piece, or maybe $1.50 a piece. The same buyer bought season 1 and 2, which I allotted together, and then I had season 4, 5, and 6, and I allotted those together separately. Same buyer bought both lots, and they were $30 all in. This is a weird toy from the 60s. It's like a suitcase with a hairdryer and some other makeup kind of stuff in it. Sold for $19.99, and it was incomplete. And I think it didn't work. I don't remember. I've had it for a long time. I got it for free from somebody who was trying to not go to Goodwill, and so they let me donate their stuff. This McDonald's, I picked up in an estate sale for like $1. It sold for $12.99 free shipping. Dr. Seuss book that was in a video the other day. This sold 3 times in 2 days. It sold to 2 people who then immediately wanted to cancel the order, and then finally somebody bought it and kept it. So that was nice of them. Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, I paid 50 cents a piece for these, so I'm $1.50 into them. They'll ship media mail, which is a little less than $3, so there's $5. And then they sold for $12.50. But I think these only sold so quickly because I had all 3 movies all together. This, I was just talking to somebody about this. The insulated thermos, Caterpillar Aladdin thermos. Picked it up for $1, sold for $13.40 almost immediately, plus shipping. So the buyer's all in at $23.50. This is a kid's Kansas City hat. I picked up a bunch of Kansas City hats, retail arbitrage, and I thought they were all the adult ones, but mixed in was this one kid one. And so I just went ahead and sold it for what I could get for it. Here's another sleeping bag. I got $1 into all of these sleeping bags. This one sold for $23.99, free shipping. Another Jack Lalanne part. This thing weighs almost nothing. It sold for $9.99. It's the thing you use to smash the vegetables down into the juice. This is a big lot of Stephen King books. I think I showed you guys those Stephen King books. They sold for $29.99, free shipping. This shirt I've had forever. I picked it up in an estate sale. I didn't bother to take it out of the bag to take pictures, so it's no wonder that it didn't sell very quickly. I thought the bag was sealed. Turns out it wasn't. Once I went to ship it, I realized the bag wasn't sealed, and I was like, I'm an idiot. So I'm not very good at my job. This one, the buyer wrote a note, "Thank you for shipping this in a strong box with padding for transport. We have received things in the past that you would not expect to break, but they were damaged in shipping. Thank you. Have a good day." This is deodorant that I picked up for $1, sold for $3.50 plus shipping, but for whatever reason it was priority shipping, and I actually downgraded them to first class so that I made a little bit of money, and they'll get it in the same amount of time. Let me know in the comments, do you think that's a bad practice? It's not something I do very often. It's not something you get the opportunity to do very often, but I feel like if they're going to get it in 3 or 4 days first class, or they're going to get it 3 or 4 days priority for, and it's tracked either way. The only difference is whether or not I'm paying insurance, and I don't really think I ought to pay insurance on an item that is $3.50. So I shipped it first class so that I had a little bit of money in my pocket from making the sale. These are mini Tonka moccasins. I picked them up for $5.99. They look like they'd never been worn before, and they're kind of like house shoes. They're not outside. They're leather on the bottom and not like a dress shoe leather. They're just suede on the bottom. But Goodwill put a big giant price tag sticker on the bottom, so you can see they had a little defect on the bottom. I haven't skipped anything yet. I told you guys I was going to skip some stuff that wasn't interesting. Divergent, I had with a soft cover of the first book, and the second and third book were hardcovers, and I had 2 sets that were that way for whatever reason, that were the same setup, and so both of those sold recently for $11.99, and I suspect I have $2.50 into it, and I'm doing those plus shipping on most of that media mail stuff. These Terry Brooks sold really quick, so you might look out for them. The Shannara Chronicles, this was just 2 of the 9 books in that series, sold for $9, and I have a quarter a piece into the books. Ender's Game, a quarter into it, sold for $7. Isaac Asimov, he's an author you ought to look out for. I have a quarter a piece into these books, and they sold for $8 plus shipping. Did we talk about this? We might have talked about this jewel case, or this CD case. 30 CDs fit in this thing, and they sell for, it sold for $30 in 10 hours or something. Here's another Jack Lalanne juicer part, $7.99 plus shipping. Twilight, just book 1 and 2 in the cheap soft cover, sold for $6.49. I'm 50 cents into it. That was free shipping, so those aren't worth too much, but 50 cents in, $2.50 shipping. I probably made $2 on my 50-cent investment. Here's Twilight, where 2 of them are hardback and it's the full set. 2 of them are hardback and 2 of them are soft, and it sold for $20, free shipping. This shirt sold for $32.44. If you guys have been with the channel a little while, you might remember I got a Joe Camel shirt that I was super excited about, and then it was dry rotted, so I tore it up on the video. Well, I got this one at the same time. I paid $2.48 and it sold for $32.44. It's a vintage single stitch camel. It's got everything going for it. Moonlighting. Holy cow. Who would have thought Bruce Willis would have made a show that was worth so much money? This is just season 3 of Moonlighting and it sold for $39 for free shipping. And all of the seasons do that well. If you had all 3 seasons, which I think 3 is all they made of that show, it sells for $100. It's crazy, crazy town, that Moonlighting. Mitford Chronicles by Jan Karen. This is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Missing 5 and 6, and it sold for $20. Yesterday I found 5, so that was pretty frustrating because this one just sold this week. That sold for $20. 9 books minus the 2, so it's 7. I have $1.75 into it, and they sold for $20 free shipping. This monster hat, I had a feeling. I got this at Goodwill the other day. It was $2.99 because it was monster. And it wasn't the fitted cap, it's a strap back, not a snapback, a strap back, which makes it Velcro here. Because it was not a fitted cap, I thought it would do well, and it sold for $24.99 very quickly, like a day or two. These, I don't think we've talked about these, bobbers. I just thought these were a super fun find. They're 1994 Zebco, and one of them is Mickey Mouse and the other one is Snoopy, and they were both still on the card. The Mickey card wasn't great, but they're certainly, if you're going to use them, they're perfect. But if you're going to display them, the Mickey one was a little eh. But anyway, they sold for $21.99. I paid 99 cents a piece for them at Goodwill. And then this Jack LaLanne tool, this is the thing to look out for, this moon-shaped thing that's orange. It takes the blade off of the juicer, and it is the piece that sells the fastest, and it sold for $17.49 free shipping. They comp higher than that, but I just wanted to move it super fast, so I marked mine kind of right at the bottom of the market. I don't know how far back we've gone, so I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting. I don't want to overlap. We've done enough. I think that's going to do it for the video, guys. That's a whole bunch of stuff that sold in March. Thanks for checking us out. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like button, the thumbs up, comment with your fingers, not with your mouth, but comment, and subscribe. And go check out Two Flippin' Puppets. We're going to get some more videos on there as quick as we can. And come back and check us out on another one.